Okay, I'm back if anybody wants to come back over. I'll just have to wait and see. I don't know why it does it. Hoping some of you will come back over. I had to unplug everything and plug it back in again. I may be crafting by myself. That happens. I've got some orangey things. Okay, and we're back. Yeah, I unplugged everything and plugged it back in again. That's what we did last time. I'm not sure if that means something's dying or if maybe the table got bonked or what, but sorry about that. I see odd lights, but hopefully everything else is okay. Technology, sometimes it is not our friend. Whoops. Very frustrating when you think you're rolling along and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hi, Lisa. Yeah, I have been building this scrap collection for many years. I just can't seem to throw some of these things away. And what's sad is this isn't the collection I go to first to play with, so that's why I know I need to do something with them. Well, I play with these, but let's see. Just, you know, your way of working and your choice of mediums and colors, they change over time often, not always. Some people stay true to one thing all the time. Let's see, let's get some more of that. Like I said, this is just one small chunk of the baskets, which is just crazy. Two of those on there. So we have 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll call that 4 because they're small. And there we go, 5. There we go. So what is everybody working on today? Hey, Janet. Your blue journal was so pretty, Janet. I loved that. It was gorgeous. And I do want to do a blue journal. What else can we get in here? Some more purple. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do one of these guys. You're eating lunch. iCAD is pretty intense. When I did it a few years ago, I was surprised. Even though it was a small thing, it was kind of intense. It did launch some fun stuff for me, though. I need to do iCAD year-round to use up the giant stash of index cards that I found in the reorg. See, now if I was working on a journal, I'd stop and I'd look at this and I think, okay, should I cut out the bird? Should I see this as a whole? And it's like, no, we're just going to tear these things up. Tear them up, use them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need one more. One more different. 5. I'm really hoping they will get the sunroom done within the next month. Our inspection is due, so we're going to have to ask for another extension. But I'm starting to look on Craigslist to see if I can find the furniture that I want in there. I'd kind of like to find a little antique drop-down desk. And then we're waiting for generators to come back in stock because we really need to get a generator for the fire season here. But all the ones that my husband wants are out of stock everywhere. The paperclip batches, well, my initial thought is that I take too much time when I'm working on a project sorting through these. I have like 5 of these huge baskets full of scraps in different colors. So I thought, well, if I put them together in kind of color batches, maybe I would only grab a paperclip stack. And then since I've been destashing the studio and working up to a big destash sale, I think I might end up putting together a whole baggie of the paperclip batches and putting them in the sale too. At least trying it and seeing if they go. I'm going to do live sales. I'm not going to put them on Etsy. 1, 2, 3, 4. But the destash is really taking all my mental effort, and I didn't want to cancel the live because I'm not doing any other videos right now. We need something different. I'm finding the fewer materials I have to choose from, the more exciting it is with my work. So I want to do more with limited things. Not really clusters, Nettie. I'm just kind of batching like things. So then when I go to, and hello, glad you were able to make it today. So that when I go to work, I don't spend hours digging through my massive piles. And then I'll probably put some in the destash sales. Yeah, Vicki, I hear you on the flat surfaces. It's nuts. Gosh, my husband has been so indulgent because I've kind of taken every flat surface in the house. And especially right now with trying to dry the leaves, because I need a place to spread the leaves out, stack them in between their papers, and then move them around after a few days to make sure. Some of the ones are kind of more tending to mold, so I need to move them around. So that's what I'm really hoping to put out into the garage. I think that'll be a big difference in the garage. And let's do a couple of these guys. Oh, that's fun to be able to create with your grandson. That's got to be a blast, an absolute blast. I just want the flat surfaces I have to actually be able to be used. Because right now you can't get, well, I mean, you can now, but you couldn't a month ago, you couldn't get to them. But I've got the 2 desks in the living room, and then I took over the kitchen table, and then I took over the buffet because I needed places to lay out the leaves. And then I've got, a 6-foot-long island in the studio, and then another desk in the studio, and now I've got 2 counters in the garage. So, yeah, a little bit spoiled, I know. Oh, that's fun, Debbie, a 3-year-old artist to be. Well, just getting everything in one place really makes a difference to me psychologically. I thought I needed to have the same things at every place that I was working, and that was not the case. I tend to go into the studio to find my supplies and lay things out on the island. and then I come into the living room here to work or film. And I'm really planning on next week getting back to filming too, more videos rather than just the lives. That is the plan. Yeah, just too many things in there. And then you sit down to collage and you're like, oh, do I want this? Do I want that? And then when you tell yourself, okay, these are the only things you have, and then maybe you could add, you can add quotes or you can add threads, but you can't add anything else other than these. You'd be surprised at what you could do. Debbie, I am so past fussy cutting anymore. I still have those, and a lot of those will go in the de-stash sale, the fussy cut napkins. And I was going to fussy cut them, but, you know, when I did them, and it's like, you know what, I have the stencil. I can do them again. Hey, we're making a dent here in at least this pile of blue. It's not all my blue, but it is this pile of blue. Oh, that's got weird stuff on the back of it. What do we got here? I think those are all different. I guess the thing is, I don't know. I don't know that I would use them in anything. Here, I'll do this. I'll tear around them, at least two of them. Well, they can all be saved. I'm not going to even do a super careful tear, but God, I did these so long ago. I realized I wasn't going to use them the way they were on that paper. And all right, we'll save the birds aside. Who knows? They might make an appearance somehow. Somehow. All right. So is anybody doing, Dee Dee's doing a Christmas challenge. Don't freak out before Christmas to get stuff ready for people that are going to do Christmas journals. I don't do Christmas journals yet anyways, so I'm not playing along, but she's got some great ideas. All right, purple. You actually need to send me your new address, Vicki, because I was looking the other day and realized I don't have it. So please PM me your new address. Janet, you like piles too? Oh, being without the internet, now that we've gotten so used to it, is hard, isn't it? All right, I'm kind of getting tired of those blue scraps. Do we have anything else that we want to grab out of here? You know I'm really hankering to work on the greens. That's what I want to do, but I'll be good with the blues. All right, let's do this. Let's pull all the blue out of here. Let's see if I can get through the blues. All right. Yeah, when I stop and think about how small amounts of paper can have an impact in a journal, I just don't need the amount that I saved. So some cool looking handmade paper. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Love this paper. All the inclusions in it. And that's, I got to get that. The other thing that's going to be happening in the garage is the paper making. So I'll have a long counter that I can pull that stuff on. 1, 2, 3. We'll call that 5. Maybe I should make larger stacks. That might go faster. That's a printout from my mermaid kit. I was going to bring out tags. I thought, okay, I'll just start gluing on tags, but I think I'll have a bigger impact on my studio space by doing this today. I love this. This is just, I might save aside to put on a tag. This is a, they're these little things, these Kim wipes. And I use these for cleaning up because they're a little bit stronger than just a tissue. They're single ply. And if they don't have anything on them, they're kind of transparent. And they just make, in fact, probably even with the paint, they're going to be somewhat, a little bit in some spots, transparent. But they're so thin that they're great collage material. So that's special. We'll save that one aside. Some of those with the really good colors. Yeah, I can use those on tags as is. Yeah, I think I might need to do some packs with some bigger scraps. I was just literally trying to think of something easy to do in the live because I was feeling pressured to make sure I showed up. All right, if we did that, I did a variety. What would I do? Vicki, yeah, well, the garage, I don't know. Will your Mr. Fix-It man let you work in his garage? You got him making you all those beautiful, the book cradle. My son, I think, is going to try and make me one of those. At least I sent him the pictures and asked him to pretty please. All right, it just doesn't matter what size. I'll just fill, I'm going to match these up and I will fill a sandwich bag with scraps. That's it. I don't need to tear them down, right? Bigger scraps is fine. I'm just going to do 5 to a paper clip. This was when I was working with the India ink. Okay, except that's kind of thick. Hey, Mary. Janet, yeah, you've got some doodles in some of your journals like Vicki likes to do in hers. Vicki is Messy Table Studio. Your styles kind of coordinate. How old is your son going to be, Nettie? I saw your memory picture you posted. It's hard to come up with ideas for the shutdown time, that's for sure. Well, that tore in a different way because I was holding it the wrong way. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the inky ones are really cool. Some of these I will definitely save. See, now I like that one. I'm gonna, and that's one other thing I had to tell myself in the reorg is, it's okay to change your mind and decide to keep some stuff. Just don't keep everything. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. I need something different. Oh, maybe this one. And my inky papers, do I have any of those here? I don't have any of the really cool looking. These inks are from when I was doing not alcohol inks. I was doing India ink on things like wax paper and tracing paper, and it was amazing. There's a video showing some reveals. I was just really pleased. Painting on wax paper turned out much nicer than I thought. Yeah, see, and I can afford to keep these if I'm using up some of these other scraps. Oh, Janet, yeah, tell people your store. You give people the names. I don't have to turn on links. If you give people the store names, they can track you down. Janet says something like Junk Journals by Janice, or shoot. I don't remember. Artsy Journals by Janet. Let's see. Oh, I love this paper. This paper is great. And see, this helps. I'm picking out the stuff that I love, that I know I'm going to work with. I love this handmade paper because it's so strong. I can sew through it. I can glue it. I can, make actual books out of it. And that was one of the things I did with the reorg, was make it easier to find that kind of stuff in the studio. I have a lot of handmade paper I've collected over the years. All right, zip through here. Zip, 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 right? Zip, zip, zip. I like the brown, but not the blue, so I can let this go. This one I like. What I was doing with the material as I was folding it up, it's like, I like, I don't like, or I'm over. In most cases with the material, it was just a matter of being over the way some of it felt. If it didn't get me all excited, I was ready to let it go. Kind of like the Marie Kondo version of cleanup. But it's lovely to be able to open, doors and drawers and find what I want. And then I was trying to make space in the studio, which you'll see when I finally get around to doing the video, to be able to bring more of my nature materials in the house, to bring my twigs and pine cones and stuff like that into the house so that I had easier access to them. Thanks, Liz. I had fun doing that, and there's so many messy things I want to do, but I knew if I started something like that before I was done with the reorg, I would really get frustrated at the mess everywhere. So let's help Nettie out. What kind of things can she do with her 5-year-old son to help celebrate his birthday tomorrow? Finger paints are fun. Neither one of my kids was ever into artsy stuff, although my son is getting into woodworking now, but when they were little, they didn't like doing this kind of stuff with me at all. Take that little bit of yellow. See, now this is getting me excited about wanting to collage too, so that's good. All right, my save pile is growing. Let's move the precious birds and the other saves. We'll move those out of the way. All right, this is not much of anything. Okay, blues are going down. I do like blue, but I just lately am not working with it. So I'm going to tell myself when it's time to work with blue, I will make more. If I don't have any more of these, I will just make more blue papers. I mean, it's not like I don't have the supplies to keep making more papers. I've got some dyeing videos I want to do that will show not just the ways I dye, but the permanents versus the other ones, and people are asking me a lot of questions about that. What else can we put in there? This, and we can do this, this, all right. So I want to say thank you to everybody that's been supporting my channel. I'm over 4,500 subscribers now, and I'm just kind of gobsmacked at the support, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Appreciate when you come hang out with me in the lives, your thumbs ups, all that good stuff. Thanks, Liz. I realized I had to separate my things out by colors because that's the way my brain works. Not everybody's works like that, but definitely for me, I needed to have things separated out by colors because when I'm working on a journal, I'm usually working by color themes. I don't always have, it's not like I'm going to sit down and say, well, I'm going to do a sunflower journal. Mostly it's that I'm going to work in greens or yellows, and then sometimes it's sunflowers, but let's put another pretty blue on top. Oh, that's a good idea, Lisa, building out of cardboard boxes. When my grandson was little like that, he built like a whole store out of cardboard boxes. Built a cash register out of the box, and yeah. It's probably a pretty popular Google term, things to do with things to build with your 5-year-old, something like that. All right, people, I'm going to be putting the blues away here shortly. I think I'm getting tired of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice little pile. All right, maybe I do eventually have to throw some of these little scraps out that just don't have enough of anything exciting left. So how about the rest of you? Do you save all these little scraps? I mean, this is a little scrap. It's like maybe a ½ an inch wide. Do you guys save things like that? I love to. I didn't bring a journal out to show any examples, but just a pop of 3 little things. I like to work in odd numbers on the side of a page can really brighten things up. And of course, you can make clusters from these. That works too. One of the things I discovered in the reorg is that I had dedicated 3 of my favorite types of storage boxes to things that I had sorted out for clusters, and realized I had never made clusters with any of the things in the box. It's like, nope, that's definitely not a good use of space. Yeah, I'm thinking baggies of these are going to be good. So they're still sorted by colors, but now there's a few more to play with, less decisions to make. I know, Liz, Debbie, we save it all. You go through that much cereal, Vicki, that you were able to save all those cereal back liners? We haven't bought cereal in boxes in, I don't know, probably 20 years. But I do like to make the bags out of tracing paper. Put one of the stiff ones behind. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just love the way this painting on wax paper came out. If you have not done that, if you've not painted on wax paper before, give it a try. I ended up, the best way I found to spread it was just to take one of those old cosmetic sponges and just spread it across the page. Cracker boxes. Yeah, our cracker boxes don't have the clear ones. They've got metallic ones. I saved, years ago, I had saved a bunch of the graham cracker wrapping things, but they weren't really clear, and I was saving way too much recycled material. Had to let a lot of that go. And yesterday in the garage, I think I half filled the recycling bin with magazines. I still had magazines that had my stories printed in them and announcements, book announcements and things. I thought, why am I saving this? I don't need to save this anymore. That publishing world, I'm over that. I know what I did. I don't need to save the physical reminders of that. My kids don't want that stuff. So yeah, that cleaned up like 2.5 shelves in the garage. This stuff's too flimsy. The garage seemed so big in my head when I was planning what I was going to do out there. And then I got out there and started moving things around, and it's not that big. A one-car garage is not that big. Thankfully, here in California, we don't need to put the cars in there. And people that are living where the weather gets pretty severe. Not that most of us are driving many places right now, but hey, Dee Dee. Yeah, Nettie, if you've got a kid, you've probably got cereal boxes. I have been hoarding the actual cracker boxes because they come from, they're made of a recycled cardboard that there's no gloss on them, and they take paint and glue really, really well. I'm organizing scraps, Dee Dee. That is my big thing today, organizing scraps. Isn't that a good use of my time? Because then I can send them to somebody else's house. 3, 4, 5. Let's put a couple of these little guys on there just because. This is one of those things you don't mind doing with other crafters because they understand why you save all those little pieces. But if you tried to do it with, non-crafting friends, they'd be thinking, you are insane for saving all this stuff. Bye, Lisa. Glad to see you here. You get to park in the garage. Well, you've got severe weather where you are, Janet, don't you? I mean, you don't really have much snow, but I mean, you got a lot of rain, a lot of wet stuff there. Yeah, any of the boxes that are the right size for journal covers, I save. Although in the garage, there is, let's see, there's probably 5 shelves of books to gut also for journal covers. And what I keep, wait a minute, I gotta go back up to chat. Envelopes. There are also, okay, I was saving junk mail envelopes, and I'm going to have to do something with those. I did reduce the stash from a huge bin down to a shoebox full. And then I have in the garage a huge bin full of brand new envelopes that I must have picked up every time I went to the dollar store in different colors, but they're all just sitting there not being used. I've got to do something with them. So you're gonna video all the little ephemera you're gonna do, right? Buffering. Oh, I don't know what's up. Yeah, I think my trouble with making ephemera right now is just this transition that I realize that I'm in, and I'm not using a lot of the stuff that I used to use. I need time to kind of think about how I'm going to do things differently. But I really need just to make up my old style a whole bunch just so I can use these things up. It would take until New Year's. Well, show us a picture when they're all done. At least post it in our group. I want to see. I need ideas. You know, and I struggle between the mass making, which is good to get a lot of stuff done, and then wanting to do the more artistic stuff, which, you know, takes more time and is harder in a lot of cases to video because I'm kind of just experimenting along the way. Look at this pile go down. This is awesome. Okay, you guys, you know I'm going to have to do green after this because I got a thing for green. Nice seeing you, Debbie. Really happy to see you here and glad you're doing okay. It's called coffee. Yeah, one of those things you're familiar with, right? That's the shot of what it is to motivate me on this. But really, time-wise, we're doing okay. Despite the hiccup at the beginning. You know, no, we've got good internet, but every once in a while, I guess things just, you know, of course, everybody and their brother, kids starting back to school. My grandson started back to school today, so I imagine the internet everywhere is crowded. You got to get into this a little bit, and then you stop caring so much about how perfectly you're picking these things out. As long as I have 5 pieces in each one, that way if I do little scrap packs, I can fill a baggie and say there's, you know, 10 things with each one's got 5 on it or something like that. Has a minimum of 5. Some of them have more if they're really skinny or small. Woohoo! All right. I'm sorry. I'm done with this color. There's not enough fun pieces to play with. We're just going to put this back in here. And let's see. There were some yellows in here. You know what? I even forgot. Oh, I didn't go to the other box because I really didn't have any blues because I don't make a lot of blue extra papers. But here, these are jelly print scraps, and these are other print scraps. I don't need this, I don't think. All right, sorry for the clatter. Yeah, see, these things don't, these jelly print scraps don't exactly go with the nature journals. Oh, the altered book. Yeah, the first few I didn't do that many of. Didn't take out enough pages either. Yeah, Vicki, I'm going to just do a few yellows, and then I think I will go to the greens. But I did want to get a little bit of variety in here. Tear that guy. These are these have a lot of my Handmade paper scraps. Love these. 1, 2, 3, 4, and call that 5. That's good. I haven't decided. I kind of like doing an altered book, but I don't know. It doesn't feel quite the same as making a journal. But then the books that I'm working on now are very different too. So variety is good, right? I need to make some ephemera folders is what I need to do. because then I can reclaim the drawers that I currently have a lot of my ephemera in. So I'd like the drawers for more of the nature stuff. Yeah, the yellow is really nice. It's got a lot of my handmade papers in, like I said, and I just couldn't throw away the jelly print pieces, even though they're very modern looking, and the stuff I do is definitely not modern. But they make nice little accents. All right, this. It's kind of a green. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are like end cuts. I don't know. I guess they're still useful. You can still do. I don't tend to do straight edges, so it's hard for me with the end cuts. Tissue paper. Yeah, let's just fill her up. Do some yellow. Oh, there's some pinks I could have done in the other one, but obviously I can do this for a while. This is alcohol inks on parchment paper. Isn't that just the best sound? I can't wait, Dee Dee, to see what you do with the design team project, because you don't normally grab those kinds of kits. So I'm excited to see what you're going to do. Let's see, and Tuesday's got some oranges, and Debbie's got the mermaids. So you guys have got some neat, and I promise next week I should be back to working on kits. So then you'll have some new things to play with. And as always, you know, if somebody here watching wants to do a guest design team project, just send me an email to Susan Taylor Brown, all one word, @gmail.com. Go take a look at my Etsy shop, Poppiness. And I'm happy to have people do some guest design team projects. It's always fun to see what people do. An ephemera folio of sorts. Ooh. Yeah, I really need to make a few of those. I want to make one for my stamps because I've got a nice stash of stamps, but I hate, I mean, it's fun to dump them out and see all the stamps that you have, but again, it's I'm all for shopping in my studio, but I spend so much time gazing around at that stuff that it takes away from the work time. All right, a few more of the yellows, and then I got to do the greens because I just get a hankering for green. I just love the green. And then maybe whatever's left over, I will just make, just make a big grab bag for the sale. I was going to say I'd make master boards, but you know, it's not something that I want to use a lot of, so it doesn't make sense to spend the time to make them if I'm not going to get all excited about them. So maybe I'll just make big grab bags of what's left with a variety of colors. That's kind of, you know, the next steps for me, Liz, is to just sort of say, okay, this is what, like I would have done nature clusters again today because really that's all I kind of want to work on right now. This is a tea bag that has some distress colors on it. I kind of like that as it is. I'm going to save that aside. But I feel like, gosh, I've done all these lives doing the same thing. You guys will get sick of them, but that's all I kind of want to do right now. It's very freeing in my brain to work on that kind of stuff. Some more distress parchment paper. Handmade paper. else. Okay. I think I'm ready for green. I think I'm ready. Oh, Dee Dee, that sounds great. Yeah, you're really good at making your mock-ups up ahead of time and making sure everything's going to work out correctly. Yeah, we're just going to save the yellows back into their little basket. See, that basket really didn't go down much. That one had my blues in it too. So I think miscellaneous bags, I'll feel better because right now these baskets take up 3 shelves. And I don't want to give up 3 shelves to paper scraps. I'd like to have one basket that has the recent paper scraps from a project, and that would be it. All right, here are the greens. A lot of them are those great tissues. There, Vicki, happy now? Look at that, my greens. Love my greens. Let's see if we have some good greens from here. Oh, some of the yellows would go good with there too. There's some of those. Vellum. Some more little scraps we can sort through. All right. Yeah, you and me and our greens. We love our greens. Yeah, see, you guys always give me ideas. So I think my TV time tonight is going to be making miscellaneous bags of what's left. All right, let's do some greens. I love this, the jelly print. All right, and the green tissues, which some of these I will save because, you know, green. One, two, three, four. So what are your favorite ways to use your small scrappy paper scraps? Do you do like an all over collage? Do you use them on tags, journal cards? Do you use them on pages of the journal? This is the most interesting piece of handmade paper. It really feels like fabric. It's so soft. And I wish I could remember what it's called so I could look for some more of it. I'm going to save that. Green is the gardener's guide to hope. Oh, I love that. You don't want to add water to the alcohol inks. That will make them split. You add alcohol. Why would you want to add water? To make them spread, you would use alcohol or blending solution. For clusters, yeah. They make great clusters. Yeah, I like them on the edge of pages too. I like, you know, for each page you want to have maybe a little something, but you don't want to overwhelm the page. The green just feels good. Just feels good. I love it. Oh, that's another neat piece. I don't remember what this stuff is called either. I have it in a bunch of different colors. I'll probably use that. This is the trouble when I get into the greens, Vicki, is that it's harder to let go of the greens because I know I use them all the time. But still, it's the right thing to do. Oh, okay. And we can chat later if you want, but mostly with the alcohol inks, The most important thing to remember with alcohol inks, please, please, please use it with lots of ventilation. Do not use it in a closed room. Do not use a straw. I see people using a straw with them, and it's very dangerous. You have to make sure you have lots of good ventilation. And then you can use, they recommend the high percentage alcohol, but I get just as fine results using the the typical 70% alcohol. I think that's what it is, 70%. But to make them move, the way you would use water with distress sprays, with alcohol inks, you would use alcohol or the special blending solution, which has alcohol and glycerin and some other stuff in it. I know it's hard, but really a lot of the skinny straps like this I can let go of, because I don't like to do things that are geometric, and if they're too skinny to really do much of anything else with, I'm okay with letting them go. But that piece, see, I pick up a piece. That's the other thing, is you pick it up, and if it feels good in your hands, I can't let them go. Stuff like this, I mean, I love this. I love the veining. So I just want to glue these down on a canvas and do something with them. I did not even touch the canvases in the garage. I said that was it. I couldn't dream of it. Oh, and I've got tea bags that are green. I know there's some of the greens that I'm ready to let go of. There's some. There's got to be. This one's too long. Yeah, ruffles don't really go with my style much either. I made a few and realized that, unless I was working on a specific vintage journal, but I don't do much vintage stuff. My stuff is a little more nature. Excuse me, I forgot to bring water over. Yeah, Janet, those snippet rolls probably. And you can do them with paper, you can do them with fabric, you can do them with a combination with lace. I'm trying to figure out how I can do some snippet rolls that are more foresty and nature oriented. All right, so the greens. See now, Vicki, you got me second guessing myself about what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to let go of. Doggone it. This stuff is cool. I should have brought a save box over. Yeah, I should have done my first thing, which was going to be working with colors that I'm not crazy about, because those are the easiest to get rid of. Pictures of leaves on the rolls, and then do the rolls out of fabric or paper. I also saw like a really simple snippet roll that I liked that was just foresty colors. A couple little pieces of lace, but mostly it was just the colors of the forest, and I thought that was kind of neat. That one is weird, so after it's been creased and stuff, we can let some of that go. Clustered. Oh yeah, I've seen, I think Gail, and I can't remember who pioneered it, maybe Gail pioneered it, where you could basically just take a piece of paper and make your clusters right on the page. And I did something similar ages ago. I'll have to find the video, where I had brown packing paper and I would just pile the stuff up on there, and then I would glue it or sew it right on the packing paper, and then you could tear it apart. So I did that ages ago. I've forgotten about that, and I see people doing these things. Yeah, it's so easy to get hurt feelings when we see people doing something. We think, I did that. But boy, we're bombarded with so many great ideas on the internet, and sometimes we don't get around to doing them until a long time later, and we forget where we saw something. I mean, we all try. I think most people try to share the source of their stuff. If people aren't sharing the source of their stuff, I tend to not watch their videos as often as I might other people. I like knowledge sharers. I believe we all grow when we share the knowledge. What sounds right up my alley, Vicki? Doing just with the colors, or doing the colors and then do the leaves? Both of those. And I've got some long silk strips I want to do some eco dyeing on, so they would make their own little nature snippet roll. Yeah, sometimes, Liz, it's just you can't figure it out. It's just not easy to know. And lately I've seen a couple people get really upset about it. And it's like we try. I mean, like I said, most people try to share. And if they don't know, then they say they don't remember, it was so long ago. But there's some people that don't share where they got something from, and that's really frustrating. I mean, they consistently don't share it. They don't share, not just where they got something from, they don't share knowledge. I don't think hoarding knowledge does any of us any good. I think sharing, we all get enriched. See, now I start doing these and then I put them aside. I got to keep them because this is my handmade paper. I think it's the jelly print stuff that I want to get rid of. It looks a little modern for what I'm doing now. So styles change. Okay, Vicki, I gotcha. That's a nice pile starting here. All right, where's my... Glad I brought my phone over. I could see what time it was. Okay, another half hour. And see, also, you got these things, and if you had lace or what have you, you could add to... I mean, there's so much. When you start with a little snippet piece, and challenge yourself. When I was writing, and I've probably told the story before, but when I was writing poetry all the time, one of the biggest challenges was to give yourself, you could only use words that started with a certain letter, or you could only use, so many words in a line, and the theme had to be something, and the poem could only be 7 lines long, or, what have you, things like that. The more limitations that we put, the more constraints that we put on a poem, often the stronger the poem would be in the end. So it's the same way with art. If you give yourself some constraints, you might be surprised to see what you can do with a little bit of something. All right, there is a problem with the greens. It's just they're so pretty, I don't want to let go of them. That is the problem. I can see that now. I know out in the garage bins, there's a few things of just strips of fabric or of paper too to get rid of. But yeah, I think I'll just do big grab bag kind of things of. Well, if you can constrain it in one room, hats off to you, because as you know, mine's all over the house and the garage and the yard. I've got the outside studio. I've got the garage studio space. I've got the living room. I've got part of the kitchen. And then I've got the actual studio. All I can say is my husband, he is a saint. Some more of the jelly prints. Oh, this is a baby wipe. Look at the color on that. That is juicy. Juicy colors. Yeah, it's looking like not many of the greens are going to go to a new home. I cut a bunch of these index cards down. I don't know what I was going to make with them. Maybe a very small journal. Maybe. Yeah, I need to do the pinks and purples, the stuff that I know I'm not that crazy about working with. Some waxed paper. Love waxing my papers. Let's need something big, something bigger. Keep piling this on, trying to find the right something. There we go. That works. Have I got a video on waxing paper? I don't think I have. I need to do one of those. One of the gals on my design team has, at least one does. Vicky or Dee Dee, if you're still here, do you have a video on doing the waxing paper? Debbie Kipp at Kipp's Corner, she does really nice instructional videos. She's on my design team, and you can go to, and it's Kipp, K-I-P-P-S Corner. She's got a really nice video on waxing paper and the couple different ways to do it. Basically, you can use beeswax. You can also use an old candle and shave it. And then what you want to do is, if you're going to use a heat gun, it's going to blow your stuff around. So put a sheet of parchment paper underneath and then put another piece of parchment paper over the top so that you don't blow your little wax things all over the place. And a lot of times I've got a lot of dead candles, so I like using those up that way. And then certain pieces I'll go ahead and use the beeswax. And you can use a heat gun. If you use an iron, there's a little craft iron that's pretty inexpensive to buy. I think it's like, I don't know, maybe 15 bucks, maybe not even that. I think Doris makes it. And you can just iron the parchment paper. And you don't need a lot of wax. The other thing you can do is if you have a wax melter, you can melt your candles or your wax that you're going to use in the wax melter and then paint it on, which is what they do with the encaustic work, is they use a paintbrush to paint it on. Yeah, don't. I have a cookie sheet. Dee brings up a good point. Make sure you don't do it on any surface that's going to melt. I have a metal cookie sheet that I use when I'm going to do any kind of waxing. Dee Dee, is your channel your name? I can't remember. Because if people don't know Dee Dee's channel, she's got a lot of fun stuff that she's doing over there, and you should go check her out. Besides, she is an entertaining crafter to be sharing your space with while you're working. A lot of time I just put her on so it's like we're hanging out in the same room and we're working. Okay, so you can look for Dee Dee's name on YouTube and you can find her that way. But yeah, it's, you know, of course, the waxing of the paper, it gives it that transparent look. And you can do it with some beeswax furniture polishes also work well. I have so many videos to do when I get this thing done, this reorg done. Okay, I don't know. I'm looking at my greens, Vicki, and I don't want to get rid of my greens. Skinny strips. Are the skinny ones still okay to put in a grab bag? What do you guys think? As long as they're mixed in with some other scraps that are different. Well, Dee Dee, that's what people love. You know, I think the most comments I usually get on a video is usually when I've done something, you know, silly and made a mistake and not edited it out. You know, people want to, I mean, who wants to look at perfection all the time? It's really hard because it's intimidating and we feel like we can't do the same things. Okay, so they do make great paper edges. I just never, you know, you always wonder, does anybody else think the same way I do? Let's find a big, pretty big something to put in there with it. There, if I back it with a big piece, that feels better. All right, let's see, more skinny ones that we can do up. Just love these inks on the paper, on the waxed paper. And this is just kitchen wax paper that I use for these inks. Cheap dollar store paper. I need some stuff from the dollar store, but I don't actually want to go inside the store. So I was looking, I guess ours over here is called a Dollar Tree. And so I was looking online. They used to be able to, you could order and you would pick it up at the store, but they don't do that anymore. Now you have to pay for shipping, and wowzers, it totally negates the whole idea of it being cheap dollar store prices because they want like $20 in shipping. So I might have to take a chance and actually go to the store, but I don't know. I'm not that brave. I have not been inside a store since March. My husband's been the one doing all of that. Yeah, I have to make you a moderator, Dee Dee. Just a sec. Okay, Dee Dee, you should be able to add the link now. Oh, these are all those really, look at the veining, just great veining. Yeah, I think the greens, the rest of the greens right now are here to stay. And that's okay. I'm making progress. I got to look at anything that I do to reduce the stash, even by a small amount, is progress. Because then once I tell myself, okay, these are things that are going to go off in the sales stuff, they leave the house, they go in the garage. All right, let's look at it. I want to go back over here. I think this one had pink in it. Oh, it had purple. Okay. Let's see if we can do some of the pinks and purples, because I think, yeah, I had jelly prints that would go with that. Yeah, I like it when they don't edit out the oops. You know, we all make oopses, right? Dee Dee, you should be able to link your video now, I think. Did it not work? No, yeah, Dee Dee, you should. I don't see, it's interesting. I don't see the little tool thingy next to you. If it doesn't work, if the linking doesn't work, Dee Dee, just give us the date. See, so some purple works for me. That is awesome. That looks very earthy. I guess that's the thing now, is I'm just going for the very earthy colors. All right, some pink handmade paper. I love the raw edge, you know, and the skinny pieces of paper for tabs as well. I like them a lot better than the perfect tabs. Of course, I never end up with perfect tabs, so I guess maybe that's why I have embraced the imperfection of my tabs. I had to get back to doing, videos that show you what I'm working on rather than just working on stuff and not sharing. Let's see. We got pinks, purples. That's good. We can add some orange because orange goes with that. I guess if you're doing like boho kind of stuff, these colors work, but I thought I was going to do a lot of boho and turned out that I did not. So, oh, there you go. Okay, now the little moderator thingy showed up for you. So yeah. Okay, pink. Kind of pink. And one of the other things I used to like to do, I wasn't really trying to make master boards, but I would just glue all my different, papers down on a baseboard and then crazy quilt stitch around them. And so they came out looking like a fabric crazy quilt. They were a lot of fun. I did those on index cards and then make them into pockets and stuffs like that. All right. Well, I don't know how many of those stacks I got, but I got a nice little stack going. And if I tell myself tonight during baseball, I'm just going to go through the rest of them and make big piles, big bags, that will be some nice motivation. And then I can think about what I will put on the shelves that will now have space. It was weird. For about a week, I had like 6 empty shelves around the studio, and it was a little freaky to walk around and see all that space, and now I had it available. Fun, but freaky. That's orange. All right. Oh, that's pretty. It's got some nice inclusions in there. Yeah, let's do. Oh, I think I had a bunch of these that I had colored. I was going to make another mini book out of them. It's okay. I do my mini books differently now, so. Let's put that one in there and do that. Not even making a dent in my paper clips either. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have paper clips for the rest of my life. And every time I think I have the space set up exactly how I want it, I go to reach for something and it isn't where I think it is, and I start reorganizing again. I think I've reorganized one set of bookcases like 3 times already, but it's getting closer to where I feel like I know where I want everything. So is anybody else crafting along with me, or are you guys all working like in an actual day job? Mary, if you're still here, what have you been working on lately? If you said it earlier, I apologize. I don't have glasses that allow me to work on my stuff and look at the screen very easily, so I miss some stuff. Let's see. Something different, something pink. Really happy to see all the pink going out of here because it's just not a color I gravitate toward. And there are other people that love working with it, so there's always lots of pink things out there. Isn't it funny? We know we need the stuff we use most often closer, and yet we often don't set our spaces up like that. I have redone that a few times, and then I use prime real estate for stuff that I rarely get to. It's like, wait a minute, what am I thinking? Finger painting. Finger painting is fun. Even for us grown-ups, finger painting is fun. I do love working the paint into things with my fingers. All right. Some orange. The orange doesn't always get me. If it's an earthy orange that looks like it belongs out in the forest, then I get excited. Yeah, this is making things easier on so many levels. Oh, let's see. What did I find that worked best on attaching things? You know, the art glitter glue, I think, actually worked for me on attaching wax paper. Usually I stitch it, but I think the art glitter glue worked for me. If not, you could use something like you would use for stones, like Loctite. But I find that I'm usually stitching whatever's waxed. If anybody else has used paper that they have waxed and found a glue that works for them, please share. You can always come back later. Somebody will probably say something in the comments. Then there's always the people in the comments that say, oh, well, I use this and have no problems. And then 10 other people have problems. So, but it gives some ideas of jumping off points. It's so much fun crafting with the little ones. Oh, homeschool next year. Wow. That takes a dedication I know that I would have never managed when my kids were little. So many of the parents that have to do it now, I really, really feel for them, especially if they're trying to be home working on their day job stuff themselves. Yeah, orange needs special handling for me. I am okay with the oranges going bye-bye. Oh, you'll be fine. Yeah, Nettie, you've got the patience for it then. I remember trying to volunteer to help when my kids were in kindergarten and tried to help in the classroom. And it just wasn't my thing. I wasn't good at it. And the teacher needed help. But she said, how about I find you some things that you can help me with by working from home? I'm like, yes, please. There's so many kids in one place and so much high energy. And yeah, it was hard. It takes a certain personality to do that, and I admire it because I know I don't have it. Let's see what we can add here. She can't go in person until October. They think it's going to be safe there in October. I know my grandson, he's all set up for all the distance stuff at home. He's 11th grade. They started today. Something else. I need another something. Oh, look. Another bird. All right. I'm fading, I think. My voice is going. Oh, that's good, Nettie. Yeah. No, I think it's safer. I worry for the in-person classes. I really do. I think it's going to be hard for the kids to keep their distance, especially the younger ones. You know, it's just going to be hard. Let's see, what else can we add in here? Lots of scraps, so many scraps. That's kind of interesting. I think for a while I was just loving putting color on paper and I wasn't thinking of an end result, how I might use it. So that's how I've got a lot of these oddball things where I was like practicing how to do something with a spray or a stencil. And so if you don't have an end result in mind, you do end up with quite a variety of things. And then they overtake your studio. Ah, that's good. If he likes being with you and you like being with him, that's pretty much a win-win, right? Win-win. All right, some purple. Purple. I must have some purple jelly prints. Not a lot of purple jelly prints. Ah, there's some big purple. And yeah, I think I am about done here, guys. Let's see, we can do one more. Let's see if we can do this reddish something or another. Just do an oddball combo color thing, and that should take me about to my time frame. There's This thing's got all kinds of stamping on it. Put a big thing of purple behind it, and what the heck? Oh, here's some orange and some yellow, and we'll add that. That seems like a good one to stop on. All right, let's take a look at what we got done. I'll put this up. Not hitting the camera would be a good idea. So I didn't empty my baskets, but I definitely made a dent, and I definitely have a plan for emptying the baskets. So that's sometimes working out here with you guys and getting a plan for the plan is half the battle. But this is a pretty nice stack of gathered goodies. Some good colors that go with peach. I love browns. You know, you can just do the whole gamut. You could go, you could go with the rusts here, and then you could go with the brown and go towards the brown tones on the other side, even the darker browns. That's what I like to do. And you can put with peach, you can put shades of green. You can put the greens with it. Yeah, I think this is going to be good. I'm going to work on my baskets tonight. That brings me up to about 2 o'clock here. So, and just in time to all right, guys, thanks for being here with me today. I appreciate it. And I'm going to sign off now, and I will see you all next time. Thanks so much for watching. And I appreciate the thumbs up too. And I appreciate you sticking with me through the hassles that we had at the beginning with the flickering. All right, bye for now. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, Dee Dee. Love you too. All of you guys. I really appreciate the support. Thank you.